This is ridiculous. Nobody should be sleeping on the LA Clippers like they are. And yes, everybody's going to go out and say, hey, this is the retirement squad. They got too many unks on this team. But no, they legitimately made some really good moves, bringing in guys like John Collins, like Bradley Beal, even Chris Paul. At 41, he's still a really quality backup point guard. They still have obviously stars with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard from the years past, some pieces to those teams as well with guys like Chris Dunn and Ivica Zubac. This is a squad in Los Angeles, and it's the best team in Los Angeles at that. We will start with John Collins because he is my favorite signing for this Clippers team. People really don't understand how good John Collins is because after he left Atlanta, he went to Utah, and people don't watch Utah. He'll be 28 years old next year, coming off of a season averaging 19 a game with 8.2 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, and an assist. Coming off a season shooting 53% from the field and 40% from three as a stretch four. That is something that is not growing on trees in the modern NBA, and his three ball has become so much better over time. Really, in Atlanta, he was just a guy. He was a vertical spacer where he can go up and catch lobs, he can protect the rim, but other than that, his scoring is really limited to inside the paint. Not anymore. He's doing spinning fadeaways over a guy like Jaylen Brown, who's a solid perimeter defender. I mean, rip through, get to your spot, and knock it down. Like, that's not normal for John Collins prior to Utah. And then, like I said, he goes to Utah, people don't watch him, and now he comes back as a elite 3-and-D wing. 6'9" with a 6'11" wingspan, can really suffocate opposing guards on the perimeter, but he's also big enough to bang down low on the interior. Give me that. Again, Jaylen Brown, yes, he's going left, but he's still one of the best players in the NBA, getting to his spot and just dunking it. And then there's a very common misconception about Bradley Beal, and that he's no good at basketball. That is false, without a doubt, false. He will be 32 years old. He is 3 years removed from leading the NBA in scoring. Last year, he averaged 17 points, 3.7 assists, 3.3 rebounds, 1.1 steals in 32 minutes a game, shooting 50% from the field and 39% from three, all while playing out of position. He had to play the point guard role a lot of times with Devin Booker, and he was behind D-Book and KD at that as a scorer. So he had to take his turn and wait for those guys to not be scoring. It really just wasn't a great fit. And on top of that, he was owed $50 million last year. This season, however, he's only going to be making a fifth of that, even if that, $6.5 million, a tenth of it. Sorry, that took a second. The math isn't mathing quite yet. We're still on summer vacation. But Beal this year, like I said, he is not a bad basketball player. Playing alongside of James Harden should be phenomenal for him. Now, not a lot of defense there, so they could go with the Dunn-Harden backcourt combo to start it off, but then that leaves you with Bradley Beal and Chris Paul coming off your bench, so there's not much defense there either, especially with Bogdanovich at the backup three. So we'll see what they do. I would love to see Dunn coming off the bench and Beal starting, but it could go either way. Bradley Beal is still a very good basketball player. Hopefully we've got that point established as this video progresses. Now, as for Chris Paul, he's a guy that's going to come in and he just lifts up units, right? Whether he's starting or with the bench unit, he's going to make you better. He's 41 years old, but that doesn't matter. He's almost averaging 9 points a game with 7.5 assists, 3.6 rebounds, 1.3 steals in 28 minutes, shot 43% from the field last year and 38% from three on 4.5 attempts, and he just always makes the right read. Somehow he's always in the right spot, always doing something beneficial for the team. Watch him flash middle here, and then he's going to hit Sohan in the corner for the three, which was actually kind of surprising to see go down. And then right here, hitting a trailing Wembanyama for the three ball, and just watch him read the play, right? He's going to read Kessler, feel Cody Williams coming in behind him, and then he's just going to dump it off to Wemby, and a 7'5" guy is going to step into a three from 6 feet behind the three-point line, which is ridiculous. The pick and roll serves it up on a platter for him, and there's a couple of bigs in Los Angeles that he can run this pick and roll with, similar to when he was there in his first stint with the Clippers, still working out of the pick and roll and getting to spots, knocking down that elbow J, which is unguardable when he fades away, finding Champagnie in transition. Right here, Chris Paul, a winning player, and they bring him back to LA for his second stint. Should be a match made in heaven, right? They also have Kawhi Leonard, who will be 34 years old, has battled injuries for like the last half decade, or last decade at that. He's averaged 21.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, 3.1 assists on 50% shooting from the field and 41% from 3 last year. A really underrated season for Kawhi Leonard because he was battling injuries, but hopefully he will be ready to go. He only played 37 games last year and then played the playoffs, but he should be ready to roll. He's been training all the way through June to try and simulate the physical toll of a full NBA season. And remember, he had that game last year against the Nuggets where he went for like 39 points and missed 2 shots. He's still a top end number 1 option in the league. He's just getting a little bit older and is inconsistent due to injuries. The 3 ball is getting much better, as you can see right here, especially off the catch and shoot. He's still a phenomenal defender on the wing, on the perimeter, wherever you want him to go lock up, he will go lock up because he's got a freakish +7 wingspan from his 6'8" frame. Then you've got James Harden and the Harden-Leonard combo. They haven't won anything in Los Angeles yet, but a lot of that is because of injuries. It's one of the best 1-2 punches in the league. Even though Harden's going to be 36, he took a little bit of a pay cut this year to be back in LA to help them surround him with talent. He averaged 23 a game last year with 9 assists, 6 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. Only shot 41% from the field and 35% from 3, however. That is a little bit of an issue, but I mean, hey, he was 10th in MVP voting, which is crazy to think about. The ISO scoring is still there, getting right to the rim against Chris Middleton right there. The pick and roll scoring is still there as well, but the ISO is deadly for a guy like James Harden because he is one of the best ISO scorers in basketball history, maybe top 5, which is not crazy to say that. The ISO bag, I'd say, is probably second to like SGA, maybe, right now. Even though Harden's 36 and SGA's 26 in the prime of his career, James Harden still's got it. Like, if you're watching these highlights, these clips, you can't guard him in a phone booth. It is extremely tough to guard James Harden one-on-one. This big 3 here with Zubac as the 3rd leg, they won a lot of games last year, and LA was very underrated last year, and they were able to stay afloat even without Kawhi with just Harden and Zubac. Zubac is entering the prime of his career, coming off a season averaging about 17 points a game with close to 13 rebounds a night and a block in 33 minutes per game. He played 80 games. He was there every single night when Kawhi was, a little bit inconsistent with his health. Zubac was available every single night. The best ability is availability. And right here, him and Harden, that pick and roll duo is elite. The Chris Paul Zubac pick and roll duo is elite because the way they do Zubac's minutes, there will be a lot of minutes with him and Chris Paul out there. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch. He is just a force in the paint at 240 pounds with a 7'4" wingspan. I'd venture to say he's a little bit more than 240 pounds. So I'd see him more 250-ish, but I mean, he is a unit down in the paint. Can protect the rim, a really hard roller. He's got great soft hands, can go up and finish layups as well. And then they bring him in a backup in Brook Lopez, who's coming off a year with the Bucks where he's coming in on a 2-year, $11 million deal. The year he had with the Bucks, he kind of got played off the court in the playoffs, but the role that the Clippers want him to play, he doesn't have to play that much in the playoffs. He needs to give him 15 to 16 minute spot a game. 13 points a game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks last year. 51% shooting from the field, 37% from 3. Those were the numbers, for Brook Lopez last year. And coming into Los Angeles, he can be a guy, even though he's going to be 38, that can give them those spot minutes when they need it. He can still knock down the 3 ball. The efficiency was still there. It was just he was getting destroyed in drop coverage. But at the end of the day, he's still 7 foot, 7'1", something like that, with a great wingspan. So this bench unit, rounded out by Lopez with Derrick Jones Jr., Bogdanovich, Chris Dunn, and Chris Paul, is a pretty solid unit, depending on where they play Bradley Beal or not. If they play him with the starters, this is what that starting unit looks like, and that starting unit is really solid with Harden, Beal, John Collins is in there with Zubac, and then Kawhi when healthy. You also have Yannick Coden-Edenheiser. Fantastic name to say, the young rookie that they just drafted. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.